Fate Zero, Episode 7. Anything you want to say before you get into it?
No, I hope that they kill Caster and his master. Get him out of here.
2. Leave a like and subscribe. Let's check out Episode 7 of Fate Zero. 2 weeks ahead of Uncuts on Patreon. 1 week ahead of edits on Patreon for less money. Check out patreon.com/BOLDcast. It's linked in the description. Most of all, we hope you enjoy. But please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps us out. Okay, let's go.
What is that?
Oh.
It's like an enormous ball of mercury, doesn't it?
It's almost as if the damn thing's alive.
I don't know what you think you're doing.
I need to get this out of here.
What's the matter? Is something wrong?
I need to get this out of here. I need to get this out of here. Load that thing out of the truck! Quickly!
Why would you touch that? I mean, maybe it was like drawing him in, but that's like, even if it was a giant ball of mercury, you definitely wouldn't be wanting to touch it.
Yeah.
Like, regardless if it was a natural material or not.
Identified Caster's master as the person behind the recent kidnappings in Fuyuki. Masters are to hereby cease all ongoing combat in pursuit of the grail, and focus on the elimination of Caster instead. One who succeeds in defeating Caster receive an additional command seal as their reward. These are the
Immunity
unused
idol.
command seals left behind by the fallen masters of past. One of them should prove to be of immeasurable value. If anyone has questions, please ask them now. But of course, that offer is limited to those who can actually speak in human languages.
Oh,
Well played.
was it all their familiars in there?
Masters will do whatever they can to hunt him down.
So this guy just has on him all of the leftover command seals that didn't get used. Like, can he use them because he's like the ref, or is it just? I guess probably not. But he just is like they don't go away. I guess.
I guess not.
5 familiars gathered at the church for my announcement.
Which means that the elusive missing master, Lord Elmalloy, is still very much alive.
Indeed. And the offer of a command seal as the reward should draw him out, given that he's already used one of his. Of course, the other masters will be drawn out as well.
But it also means that the master who wins the seal will gain a formidable advantage over the others.
Naturally, it's not ideal. Once Caster has been thoroughly weakened, Archer must be the one to deal the final blow.
Just rigging it.
Is this the Mackenzie residence? I have a delivery.
Yes, that is the name of this domicile's residence.
Might there be a Mr. Iskander, King of Conquest?
That would be me.
Right.
Iskander?
Should have known.
You have my thanks. To have the entire world in blaze because my chance.
Did he custom order that?
Yes.
The package I was awaiting arrived.
So you went outside the house?
Ta-da! I merely tried out that mail order thing I heard about.
Told you that you were never to leave the second floor.
If the residents are not at home and you are off somewhere all day occupied with your
I'll do what I want.
Who else is there to answer the door?
I had no choice. Summons to appear by the Holy Church is a big deal and I had to go.
Don't be so grouch. After seeing SABER last night, I came to a realization.
It's crazy that was just
If
last
one wears
night.
modern attire, there's be no issue whatsoever with going outside.
I look like a perfectly normal person.
Please put on some pants before you go out.
It's a gigantic red Greek guy walking around rural Japan.
Everyone in this land wears. Do I have to wear them?
Pants?
Of course you have to.
Those shorts are
Would you actually stand
Fine.
in the way of my triumphant conquest of the world?
Before you start planning to go screwing around outside, why don't you go out and do your job and beat one of the other servants?
Very well. I understand. Do you swear that once I defeat one of the other servants, you will go and buy me a modern pair of pants so that I can go outside?
You really want to put on modern clothes and go walking outside that much?
King of Knights was walking around outside. I simply cannot allow myself to be undone. Like the design on this shirt. It is fitting attire for a strong ruler.
well, let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We defeat Caster, you get your pants. It's a win-win. It's
Easy.
a win-win.
Easy game.
And then you can go outside and show off his new shirt.
There is a powerful barrier over Mount Enzo, with Ryudo Temple at its center. Except for natural spirits like servants, anything can enter only via the temple path. There are 3 other spots where the ley lines converge. Tohsaka Manor, Fuyuki Chapel, and This new residential area east of the city center. This means that there are 4 locations in Fuyuki that have all the spiritual characteristics needed for the grail to appear.
For our second phase, when there are fewer servants left, we'll have to secure one of these spots as our base of operations, won't we?
Yes, that's correct.
Is there anything that you aren't clear on?
I understand perfectly.
Kiritsugu, can we assume that all the other masters will go after CASTER?
It's a safe bet. We have an advantage as far as CASTER is concerned. He believes that our saber is actually his Jean d'Arc, which is to our benefit. We need only wait for him to come to us.
His evil deeds must be punished. We should take the fight straight to him.
Irie, do you have a handle on this forest's barrier spell?
Just ignores her.
I do. However, our real problem is the unbreakable curse on Saber's left hand. 18 hours have already passed since your defeat of Kainith. But Saber's wound has still yet to heal. Shouldn't we go find and defeat Lancer first?
You just need to use your knowledge of the area to confuse the enemy, keeping Saber moving around.
You won't have her fight CASTER?
No, someone else will deal with him even if we don't.
Sacrifice the command seal.
Hunting CASTER in a frenzy will make excellent targets for us. I'll attack from their flanks and take them out.
To what depths do you intend to sink in your pursuit? You do insult to heroic spirits. Do you not allow me to go out and fight? Do you mean to imply that you cannot trust me?
There's a truce against everyone but CASTER, isn't there?
This overseer of ours can't be trusted. He harbors Assassin's Master in his church and doesn't say anything about it to anyone.
Yeah.
He may also be working with Tohsaka. We should be skeptical of his actions.
They're already breaking the rules. This is a farce to begin with.
Yeah.
But Saber wants to hold on to the rules and everything and be honorable and like you know let this play out, but it's all like
it's all
set up from the beginning.
Yeah, it sucks when you're trying to play by the rules, especially when a bunch of the other people, it's like half the servants want to play by the rules, and then some of them want to play by the rules, but then their masters don't want them to play by the rules, so then it's just like you know, you have a couple of honorable people and then just like a bunch of weasels and then a couple of serial killers, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
but yeah, Kiritsugu is just like, fuck it, so they get another command seal. That's not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
It only matters if you're at odds with your spirit.
Which you think, like, could matter to him because he's kind of at odds with her, but he's trying to...
He hasn't used one yet. He's got 3 left, and, you know, so what if
I think that's
gets his 3rd back, or if Waver gets a 4th? It doesn't
especially
matter.
When they're... Yeah, it's also, like, you know, he maybe wouldn't have to use it on Saber because Saber, you know, values honor, but then part of being honorable is also obeying your master at the same time, so it's like, you know, being dishonorable but having someone that's honorable is kind of a disadvantage unless they're still loyal to you, and that's part of the honor, not just honor amongst, you know, the other servants.
Yeah.
If I decided to abandon everything and simply run away from all of this, would you consider coming with me?
But what about Emiya? She's still waiting back at our castle.
I return for her, killing anyone in our way. I give all I have. For you and Ilya and no one else. We can escape if we go now.
You're lying. That's a lie. You could never run away from this. You would never forgive yourself for abandoning the Holy Grail, for failing to save the world. You would be riddled with guilt. And as your first and final accuser, you would eventually kill yourself.
I'm scared. Kirei Kotomine is after me. Maya told me. He used Kainith as bait to draw me out. I've already sacrificed you, Irie. And I've left Ilya behind. But the most dangerous of them all has already set his sights on me.
I won't allow you to fight alone. I will protect you. And Saber will too. And also, Maya is here. Kiritsugu.
The barrier.
Oh.
An attack. We're lucky I hadn't sent Maya out yet. We can mount an all-out defense.
Oh boy.
Find us a remote viewing crystal ball.
He's trying
Children.
to lure us out.
It looks like he has hostages.
I have to go out there and do what I can to save them.
Wow.
He knows that we're watching him.
Just as I promised you last night, I have come for you, my darling. I have come fully prepared for a lengthy wait and will be as attentive and patient as you need for me to be. Time for us to play some hide and seek. The rules are simple. You need only to elude me. If I find you...
No, don't!
Brother.
Come on, children. When I count to 100, 100, the chase begins.
We'll call up some of those other guys real quick.
Defeat Caster. Yes.
Saber does not like this one bit.
How do you like this horrible sight? Does it not pain you? Do you despise me, Jean? Certain you'll never forgive me for turning from God's love.
Unhand the child.
Child, you should rejoice and be exceedingly glad. God's devout messenger says that she will save you from the fate of your departed friend.
It's dangerous here. Now, you need to run.
Oh my god. For fuck's sake.
I said that the very next time we would meet, I would be prepared.
My fight with you is no longer over. The grail!
Oh, my
Badass.
Jean, holy virgin, even God's beauty pales before you.
I take up my sword solely to destroy you.
These things are so gross.
If only I could use my left hand.
Even Caster's mana isn't infinite. It can last until it runs out. Saber can win this battle, right?
More importantly, there's still no sign of other masters entering the forest. Maya, take Irie and get away from the castle.
Why can't I just remain here?
With Saber fighting away from you, it simply isn't safe for you here. At least one of the other masters is certain to have had the same idea. What's wrong?
Another one has arrived.
But which one? Which one do you think it is?
Who is this?
I don't know.
Is there no end to his mana? So that book is your noble phantasm?
That's right. The grimoire left to me by the legendary teacher Prela gives me the ample means to command a demonic legion. Brings back memories, doesn't it? Everything is just as it was then. Your indomitable warrior spirit and noble bearing proves you to be none other than Jean d'Arc. Why do you not awaken to the truth of this?
Blood is
Even God's
delusional.
grace, even now,
Yeah.
You still believe a miracle?
Hope someone else just stabs this guy through the head right now.
Forgotten the Battle of Compiègne? Even after that awful humiliation, chose to remain God.
What is Blood yapping about?
Yeah. Whoa.
Oh, the music! Gotta add this song to D&D.
Nice.
Such swordsmanship is unworthy of the title King of Knights.
I was hoping that he would show up because then they can get rid of this guy and then they can have their
Honorable duel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense as to why he would show up because first of all, they want Saber dead. Second of all, he needs his command
He
seal
needs
back
the
because he
command seal.
wasted it and he's
one down. He's
yeah,
at
and
disadvantage.
he's the kind of guy like he will use the command seal. Like, you know, it's not like he's like, oh, I used one, but don't worry, I still have two. He's like kicking himself constantly for using the other one.
Yeah,
because he
he's
used
getting
it
stunted on by his
used
wife.
it on something that was not even that good of a thing to use it on. Like it was completely unnecessary.
Yeah. Story-wise, it was to show us what it does. But,
Yeah.
like, you know, like...
But like, in terms
still.
of his own strategy, it would have been like, I mean, he thinks that it does, but it doesn't really matter who like gets killed first. You know, if everyone's teaming up on Berserker, like, you know, let him go for it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it would still be one person down out of the war. So yeah, this is Archibald's like perfect scenario where he can come in, take out this guy, and then go after Saber.
And they have good synergy, so he could get the last... And he's also, like, the perfect enemy for Caster because he has a magic-destroying spear. So he has one that can, like, get through armor, and then one can dispel magic.
And I bet when he kills these things, they won't come back because they're like a magical thing that he will have negated. So that's pretty good.
Who are you? Why gave you leave to interfere?
Well, that is my question to you, monster. It will be my lance alone that takes Saber's life.
She is mine, intruder. Every scrap of flesh, every drop of blood, even her very soul belongs to me.
Listen, Caster, I'm not going to comment on your bizarre notion of romance here. So if you really believe that you're going to make Saber yours, go ahead and try it. I, Diarmut, will never allow you to defeat a crippled Saber in any sort of battle before I can. Don't get the wrong idea.
I love their dynamic.
Today. It's the order to find and defeat Caster. I believe cooperation is our best option.
Just To be perfectly clear, Lancer, I could kill 100 of those things with just my left arm.
A mere 100 of them is child's play.
With her wounded arm.
Yeah.
I love the like you versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. Is like that kind of thing where he's like, I own her. He's like, he's just like, I own her. I'll keep her mine forever. And then he's like, no, I own her. Her life. I mean to take it. Like, I won't let you own her forever because she's mine to kill. Yeah. And it's just like the super like cringe incel guy versus the super ultimately supernaturally hot like hero with like two spears.
It's literally like
with a long red spear. Like
it's like, you will be mine. I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah. Now that's what I like to hear from a man. All right.
What does he think he's doing?
Sanguis. Fuck was that?
Weird silver ball again?
I love that he is an evoker, like which means like a summoner. Mm-hmm. Like he evokes things into being, and that's like most of his shit. Like, you know, when he had that other like sphere of Mercury, and now this one, like he his whole all of his. I like that they said, because sorry, this is a kind of a weird little tangent. I won't go too long. In anime or in magic systems, it's like they'll be like, oh, this guy is a
whatever
fucking illusionist, and then he'll just be doing mostly normal magic, and then once in a while, or like only their ultimate move is an illusion. Like I like when they have a theme and it's consistent with that person. Like the fact that Kiritsugu, he has some magic that he can do familiars, but he's about guns and bombs and shit, even though he has knowledge of magic, stuff like that. And then Irisveal is all about defensive magic, so she has the barriers, and she's in charge of the barrier that like lets people know that when they're coming in, and healing. And she, you know, like I like when it's a theme and they stick with the theme for each character, rather than being like, oh, they all have a base level of like 90% the same moves, and then their ultimate move is different. I really like this style where, you know, this is his thing and he sticks with it, and he's about being away from the fight as much as possible, and then creating little minions to do his deed. And when he enchanted the whole thing, he had ghosts and all the little familiars to like do the dirty work for him. So, you know, I like that.
Mage of the Einsberg, come forth and let us duel for possession of the Holy Grail.
That's against the rules, but sure. Not against the rules, but it's not really in keeping with the tradition like he's
it's
normally.
like the whole point is you have a servant to do that
the fighting
for you.
So you challenge him to a duel when the whole thing is a duel, but you use your servants. It's supposed to be like this gentlemanly, like, you know.
Yeah,
like
it's also kind
pistols at dawn, but we won't use ourselves. We use our soldiers for that.
Yeah. And it's also kind of silly because he already has the advantage because Saber's already wounded.
Yeah.
You know, so if you just like...
But he's cocky because he survived his like big attack, so he comes in to challenge him while he doesn't have his servant. Or he said Mage of the Einsburn. I don't even know if he knows that it's Kiritsugu.
I don't think... I mean, everyone thinks...
Probably thinks that it's Irisveal.
Yeah.
Because he said Mage of the Einsburns. Which is Kiritsugu, but he didn't dictate that it was a man.
The cameras.
I love this part. This is one of my favorite parts of the whole show. Fragmentation traps with little, like, ball bearings.
Mechanical traps of all things. Have you fallen so low, Einsberg?
Yeah.
Then this is no longer a duel, but an extermination.
It's like, you don't even use magic. Your Einsburns are one of the oldest families. Oh, fuck.
I see. Automated probes.
Whoa.
Oh, shit.
I found you, pathetic rat.
Pathetic rat.
I love this gun.
Whoa.
Time alter. Double accelerate.
He's using haste, which is why I gave the Mage Slayer haste in the D&D game.
The flow of time to greatly accelerate himself by using his own body as a reality marble. Seems that he knows a little magic after all. A miserable little coward would depend on petty tricks after being trained as a mage. Perhaps dying will teach him his place. If he's manipulating his inner time, it must be placing enormous stress on his body.
Oh. The spider web.
How far can you run as exhausted as you are?
Time alter. Triple stagnate.
Ooh.
Like
So
Jotaro.
he can't get detected.
It's like Jotaro stopping his heart with his stand.
Still have eyes. If I can slow my internal time to a third, they can't sense me.
It's because they sense the flow of mana. So if he slows himself down, they can't sense. There's nothing to sense.
Why would you say something?
It's a waste of time.
So good. Oh, it's so good. So they explain his like time acceleration interestingly. So we found out, like I talked in a previous episode about my like in my D&D campaign, I was inspired by Kiritsugu and Toji to create this guy called the Mage Slayer in my campaign. He was like a combination of the two. Well, it turns out, according to the comments, Toji was inspired, and much of Jujutsu Kaisen was inspired by the Fate series, which makes a lot of sense. It's like a modern series where in Japan there's like a secret society of magic users who like, you know, fight and shit, and then there's, you know, and the sort of sense of violence in the series is similar. But they said something, Kanan said something interesting here that I think is another piece of inspiration that I didn't really realize. So a domain expansion or a personal domain is basically like a alternate universe that you create around you. And it can also be called like a reality marble. Like that's what in other fantasy series a pocket plane or whatever is called a reality marble. It's like a, you know, yeah, it's just like a smaller version of reality that can be inhabited. So he's using how Kaneth explained it, which is really interesting, and it might relate to or be like part of in the framework that Jujutsu is kind of working on, is this idea of a reality marble. So like, and I never thought of the time accelerate in this series like this until like I guess I didn't process it properly, but I just did. So what he's doing, because I've only seen Fate Zero mostly. I've watched like the first little bit of Unlimited Blade Works, but Kiritsugu is using like relativity to like make him like just around him and himself another reality or a domain, like a personal domain, and then just like how other planets move faster, time is faster or slower than Earth. Like the time is relative, so you can go to another planet and it'll like
different.
5 seconds later is like 10 minutes here or something like that. So he's doing that type of shit. He's altering the flow of time in a reality that exists just on him, but it takes his own mana to do it, and it's like putting extra stress on him. But that's how he moves the time. I guess I knew that he was doing that like with his magic, and that's like Kiritsugu's move. But like I never thought about how that actually worked in relation to all this shit. And I guess like after deep diving into Jujutsu like we have, and now rewatching this again, I rewatched this last year since like we got into Jujutsu like we had. But I guess I never thought about it, or I never like worked through and interpreted and actually listened to what he was saying and how it applies to his ability. But yeah, anyway. So that's like Kiritsugu's thing, is he can manipulate his own time, and he did it here to slow himself down so that there's no flow of mana, which is what these things detect. They don't just detect mana, they detect the flow of mana. So if he's slowing himself down, then it's not moving very fast. But it almost kills you. It's literally like when, this is kind of like, this is probably inspired by JoJo, because like Kakyoin with all the like strings when he's fighting Dio, if you remember, when they're above the city and everything. And so because he can sense the movement of Dio whenever he moves, but Dio doesn't move because he just stops time. Yeah. Like Kiritsugu does here, but they're kind of playing with the different things because, like, you know, I don't know. Yeah. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of cool at the end here. It's crazy little thing. I don't know why he yelled at him before shooting him. Classic movie maneuver over here. Hey!
Maybe he had a reason.
Maybe he did. Actually, yeah, you never know. Maybe there's something behind him. He seems to have everything all planned out. It's also pretty crazy. I mean, like, I guess it makes sense of Archibald to be attacking him now, but it's pretty...
Because Saber's not there.
Because Saber's not there. But it's also pretty bold, you know...
To do it on his turf.
To do it on his turf, and to do it... Like, obviously, they're going to take a little while to defeat CASTER. Hopefully not too long. But, you know, you'd have to be pretty sure of your victory, because, like... What happens if Saber just defeats Lancer? Like he would be able to tell, right?
Yeah, I mean, he has all the advantage though, because Saber is hurt. and they'd be fighting.
Well,
Caster.
and that's the other thing.
And Lancer has the advantage over Caster because of his anti-magic spear.
Yeah.
So they'd probably both get drained from fighting Caster, and then he'd have the advantage against Saber, because Saber would not only be drained from that fight, but also from the
her
wound.
wrist. But also, she knows what both of his spears do now, so
That's true.
that is an advantage in her. Like, not
It
as
levels it,
severe.
yeah.
But it does level it out a little bit because we haven't even seen her ultimate move, which is maybe magic. I don't know what it is, but it's. I guess what I'm saying is, like, he has all of the advantages, so he's just kind of being stupid coming in here.
He is being really
being
stupid.
extremely reckless
He's
because
being cocky.
and maybe it's because his wife was kind of
Talking
roasting
shit.
him and was like, oh, you just want to like sit on the sidelines while Lancer's in there fighting and this and that.
And
then
she's all hot about Lancer.
And then he feels all inferior, so he's gonna go and ruin it for himself, because I'm assuming that if he dies, then Lancer would just dissipate because there's nothing holding him here anymore.
I forget how, honestly, I can't even remember.
I guess I would assume that, or something similar, or at the very least, I would, they would have no reason to fight anymore, because it's like they're getting all of their power, but he's getting his mana from the wife.
Yeah, from both of them.
But then he would have no command. She would have no command seal. So I'm not quite sure how it worked in this specific case. But yeah, he's basically just being stupid to go in there, especially.
Well, he's being cocky, but
since
it's based on his character and based on
it makes a lot of sense, and like all the scenes with his wife are kind of leading up to that. But it's also just like, the person who he thinks is in charge of Saber is not even there. He's fighting just a different guy at this point, because he doesn't know that that's Saber's actual master.
Was Kiritsugu wearing gloves? I don't think he was here, so he would be able to see the command seal on his hand. I think when he showed up here, that's why he was. Yeah, he could see it on his hand. I think he put it together here, 100%.
Okay.
Wait, why does he not have all of his command seals? Oh yeah, he does. It's like there was it's like a cross, but he has the horizontal one. From this angle, it looks like it wasn't really there, but yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so he knew that the Einsburn Master was in here somewhere based on his magic detection, but I think that once he came in, maybe with the magic detector, he was able to figure out that it was Kiritsugu, that it wasn't the same as Irisfeel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just love this gun.
Yeah, good episode.
Excellent episode.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. That was so good.
Yeah.
That was so good. I love this like obscenely tight shirt and like the short shorts.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't go outside like that. And it's just like, he's like,
do you promise if I defeat another servant, then you'll let me go outside wearing pants?
Just buy me some pants. It's so good. I love it, and I love it because he's so huge that he like can't steal like normal clothes, Lancer, for example, could probably just borrow like some clothes that were around, but he's just so ridiculous. And also Waver is tiny, so he has no choice but to wait. I just love how he ordered this online. Like he just decided to take to online shopping.
I don't even know if he did it online, because I don't know like if they would have a computer here, or if he has a computer. I think that he bought it off the TV.
Oh,
he said mail order. I think he bought it off of TV. But
that's right, or maybe a magazine or something.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I like that a lot. Yeah. He's like, I would have to answer the door, or else I'm not gonna get my package.
And I think it's from like they do a thing with him where he's trapped in the room all the time. He's watching those like war movies and stuff. I think that he's into this fictional series, this like fictional like war series or something like that, with like guns and like helicopters and things and like all that kind of stuff about conquering the world. I don't know what it is, but like I think that's they're like stringing together, get this mini continuity of like this fictional series that he likes, that he's like getting
really
into.
Wholesome.
It is, yeah. But I love how he's like, the King of Knights can go outside. It's like, well, Waver's
like
not nearly
person.
as strategic as Kiritsugu. So like Kiritsugu's his whole plan is working into people seeing Irisfeel and Saber together.
Yeah.
So like he's baiting them, and he has a whole strategy, and he has Maya, and he has a lot of pieces at his disposal, whereas Waver is just like, we just need to fly under the radar and start picking them off along the sidelines. Once there's a few less, a little bit weaker, then we move in. Like his Waver doesn't have as many tools in his toolbox. He's a bright kid and has a lot of knowledge of magic, but he's not as skilled or as experienced as Kiritsugu or as any of the other masters, pretty much, other than Ryunosuke, but he doesn't really count. So he's like trying to play it really safe. So he's like, don't go outside, you stay upstairs, like you don't give a shit. But he just wants to go out and experience the world.
This is really funny.
Yeah. And one thing about Ryder, again, I don't know if I should say who it is. I think that this episode showed it a little bit more. When he was signing for the package, you could see his name a little bit. Not that you're supposed to see, it's like a small detail, but like, and I don't even, it's not actually a mystery, I don't think. I think you're supposed to know who he is at this point, but I'm still not going to say it because I didn't know who he was at this point. So I'm not going to spoil that for you. But I will say that he is a historical figure, unlike some of the other people who are like quasi-historical references or like characters and stories and things. Yeah. Like King Arthur. This guy was actually a conqueror from history. So, and I think that that's kind of interesting for him because he's like such a bombastic personality as opposed to Saber, who's way more grounded as a person but is a fictional person. But then we have this guy who is like was a real life conqueror from Macedonia, and
but he's just going crazy.
But he's just so bombastic and larger than life when he was actually, a real person. Anyway, anything else you want to say? I loved this part. I can't wait to see more.
Yeah, that part was really funny. The rest of it was really good.
And they're going over the magical ley lines.
Yeah, so they have to like set up camp. So I guess
because the grail is going to appear whenever it appears, it'll appear in an area where the ley lines kind of converge, and there's convergence of magic.
And the other ones were already occupied by stuff. Was that it? Like
I think that there was like the holy. Let's rewatch it.
There are 3 other spots where the ley.
Okay. Go back a little bit more. There's 4 spots.
What the hell are we doing?
I think there was the shrine, the chapel.
There is a powerful barrier over Mount Enzo, the Ryudo Temple at its center.
Yeah, Ryudo Temple. That's like a Shinto or Shinto Buddhist temple on like the top of this hill. How you see in anime where there's like the stairs up and stuff.
Because of that, except for natural spirits like servants, anything can enter only via the temple path. There are 3 other spots where the ley lines converge. This means that there are 4 locations in Fuyuki that have all the spiritual characteristics needed for the grail to appear.
Yeah, I love
the Tohsaka Manor is already.
I love that. I love that because they're an ancient magic family, not one of the ultimate ancient ones.
It's like, why wouldn't you just build your house
in the place where magic is strongest? Yeah. Not even just for the Holy Grail, but just
in general.
Yeah.
Just in general. Why wouldn't you do that?
You would amplify any experiments or any magic that you're doing in your laboratory at your house. Like.
And then, then there's like just a normal residential area. What was it?
There was the Tohsaka Manor, a chapel, like
where the chapel was.
That's where the church is. Like,
and then the temple on the mountain,
which is really
you
cool.
can only go, which is pretty good
path.
if you claim that as your area, especially if the Grail does appear there, because people can't sneak up on you.
Yeah, you can only enter the area through the path because of like the barriers in place and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like because it's so strong with spirits and stuff like that because it's like Shinto or Buddhist. They said it was a temple, which makes it think it's Buddhist, but I think it's maybe a blend of both. Perhaps I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
But yeah, anyway.
But you don't really want to go there right now because there's too many people around, and you gotta. Yeah. Very good.
Very cool. Leave a like, subscribe, let's move on to the next one. Bye-bye.